Okay, so in the last video, we have been talking about config maps. We have been playing around with the OpenShift developer sandbox. We created different objects. And the first object to create with a YAML file was a pod. We talked a little bit about troubleshooting of the pod very superficially. Then we created cron jobs. And the last video that we posted was about config maps. And I decided to integrate a video on a database connection so that perhaps it could shed a little bit of light on the importance of using config maps. So let's start. We will create a method to connect to a database. So select from database. Okay. And there are two libraries which I would like to talk here. We are spreading a little bit out of the topic since we were talking about OpenShift, but doesn't really matter. And the library which I would like to talk is called the first one. Sorry, import perhaps we have to make a pip install. Come on. Okay. So SQLAlchemy engines are a fundamental part of the SQLAlchemy library. An engine in SQLAlchemy represents a source of connectivity to a relational database. And it's essentially a gateway to a specific database, handling the details of database connections and transactions. So here we go. SQLAlchemy. Oh, this is so slow. Come on. It's, oh God. Ah, this is so hateful. Here we are. And okay, we will pass 3 parameters in this function. And here is where the config maps enter to store these values. Okay, so now I will literally hard code some credentials. This database was created here locally on my computer, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay. And now we will be using Context Manager. Okay, so I'm having some troubles here with this decorator. So I'm not sure what is going on, but the context manager decorator belongs to the Python standard module. Contextlib. Perhaps I have to do something like this. Okay, and perhaps I can delete this. Okay, so as I was saying, this context manager decorator belongs to the Python standard library module called Contextlib, and this module provides utilities for working with context management, particularly for creating and working with context managers. So, what is a context manager? It is an object in Python that defines methods like enter and exit, which allow you to allocate and release resources such as opening and closing files or managing database transactions, which is the case, in a clean and controlled manner. So this decorator here simplifies the creation of custom context managers. And you can use it to define a generator-based context manager, making it more convenient. I'm not going to talk about that because that's not the purpose of the video. So we define the username, we define the password, and now we will create a second method that can be called conObjectsGenerator. And we will set engine object. Oh, oops, no, not Flask, but false. Okay. Now we will make a connection string, and for that we will use Oracledb. Not sure if it's installed or not. It is. Okay. So we will create a variable called conString, which will be our connection string. And now Oracledb dots make DSN. This is a very useful method where I will give as a parameter the SID. Sometimes I always confuse these, but okay. This, the port of the database, and as I was saying, I never know which one is the SID and the service name. I always confuse, but there is an order to input. Okay, so one of these is a service ID and the other, one of them is the SID and the other is the service name. I never know what is what. And we could make a print. We could print our connection string, but perhaps no need for that. Okay, so I created a variable here first, and that variable will be our connection. And in order to connect, I will use the method I will literally use the method connect. And here it is. Okay, so creating a variable called con, and now I will give the username, the password, and the connection string. In the connection string will be DSN. So you might hover over here to see what we can receive as a parameter, and here you are. You can see the DSN, which will be our connection string that we just made with make DSN. So now I'm confused because this should be the user and not the username, but okay, we will check it anyway. Not sure if repeating names that are keywords are okay. I think so. Okay, and finally, we will create our engine using SQLAlchemy. And since we are attempting a connection on a database, an Oracle database, we will type Oracle plus Oracledb. And I never know this part where we put the // Okay, now this part I will just paste because I don't know by heart. And this is screaming at me because of the double quotes. Also, creator is lambda. Yes, autoconvert true. So I'm not sure what is wrong in here. There is a little wrong thing. I don't think it's anything at all because as soon as I start typing, it will be okay. So now with engine dot connect, as connection, see the error disappeared here. I think it will disappear here as well. With engine.connect as connect, I will set a variable cursor that is not curses. Oh, come on. Okay, so using the cursor method, and now I will give another try, not a try catch, that's not how you name it here. Now, yields. You may have seen on basic Python videos, what does the yield? Yield, it's, I will say something technically very incorrect, but it's my way of perceiving yield. So yield, it's a kind of return, okay, but without exiting the method. Maybe I'm technically very incorrect describing this concept, but it's my perception of yields. Now I want to do connection.commit. And we are still inside our try. So if it did all this, then it worked. Otherwise, I will put an except. And I always have problems with indentations, both in Python and YAML, but it should be at the same level as the try. And now, if nothing of this worked out, I will, come on. Oh, God. Deb. I will roll out. Actually, roll back, sorry. And similarly to the previous command, okay, this if will be print out if we entered inside the try, but if we entered inside the except, then it did not work. And we will print a message, not worked, and then race. Okay. And this is our try catch. But we have the try, we have the except, and in Python we have finally. And in this finally, I will very obviously close the connection to the database. Not here, not yet. Now. Oh, sorry, maybe I did a mistake on the object. No, it should be, sorry, close. Okay. If you recall, this is our second try catch. We are still inside an Oracle try catch. And I promised that I will try not to spread too much on topics out of context. Try here, right here, here, except. as I was saying, I will try not to spread too much because we were talking about Kubernetes and OpenShift, and now I'm just talking about Python, and it's way too many topics. And I still want to make a second video still on the scope of Python, because here we are treating errors, and this is a specific thing from Oracledb that we just imported because I can raise this error as a database error. You know, but I will try to make a video on error handling in Python. But this is a very cool library, Oracledb. Because in the previous libraries, in the old libraries, there was no error handling. Okay, so this database error that you're seeing here, it did not exist in the previous library. I can tell you in a minute how that old library was called, and forgive me if this video is being too long, but this old library was called okay. I can do it. I can install it just for the sake of tutoring, for the sake of didactics, but I do not see any interest working with this library, and I don't even know. Okay, now it works. I don't see any purpose here in working with this library, but this was the old one, and it did not have this database error. And I don't know why it's expecting the end of statement here. Okay, because I'm missing a finally, of course. Or not. I open and closed. This is the same name. What I'm doing wrong? What am I doing wrong here? Okay, it's not S, it's from. Very sorry. Finally, I will attempt to close the database connection. And my object is con.close. And I think this is it. I hope I'm not missing anything. Perhaps a return. A return of this function. a return of this method. Oh, come on. Yeah, okay. Okay. There is this step 8 thing, and there is a way to comment it out, which I do not know by heart right now, but I promise I will. I will edit in the next video. So let's go to our main import this library and at least give it a try. Okay, it looks like it worked. Not doing a select right now from the databases, but you can believe me that this worked. And once again, do not forget about SQLAlchemy and Contextlib and Oracledb. These are very important libraries for database connection in Python. Once again, very sorry that I'm spreading too much off topic because we were talking about OpenShift, and then while talking about config maps, I decided to make this paragraph, and I have all these topics in my head to make a line of my own line of thoughts. I will also, on the scope of this video, I will show how to handle errors in Python, and then I will go back to explain some objects in OpenShift. Okay, but for now, forgive me for these. I'm sharing the screen. Yeah. So too much talk out of the topic, but this is it.